Well, good evening everybody. We're back on Virtual Pool 4 Online. Good evening Mark. We're back for another match in the 2021 8-Ball World Championships. It's a round 3 match. We're already into round 4, but this match I think is one of the last ones to be resolved. I think the other one may have been the match with Keith. Let's have a look. That won't time out until 7:30, so it's another half an hour before it times out. The match between Keith and Cobra. Keith won't be playing it, so Cobra is going to go through to play Bedhead, and the match we're interested in is this one here between Stubb and Jeeves. And there's also another match scheduled tonight, which I think is a one-loss side match. I'm sure it's Popman and somebody. Wherever it's gone, I can't see that. Let's go right down the bottom. Work our way up from there. There we go. Popman against Marcellus, and they're going to go at the top of the hour as well. So both players are here. Stubb is here. He's been in a challenge room, I think, with Cobra. Good evening to Chico. Good evening to Cobra. Good evening to Dwight. And Jeeves has been in practicing as well. So I don't know. I can't judge Jeeves because I've never really seen him play. And we'll soon find out what sort of... again, the one thing I like to find out is whether they're just one-dimensional, or whether they're going to be, whether he's going to bring other factors to his game. So we'll find that out. Good evening or good afternoon to Bill, and of course, happy Thanksgiving to all the Yanks out there. Whatever the hell that means, I don't know. Thanksgiving's a strange thing to us over here in the UK. But anyway, hope you have a nice day. So, we're about 3 minutes away. Well, if you didn't get to see the match last night between Hazad and Sergeresh, go and watch the last 5 minutes of it. I've posted a link to it on Facebook. And the drama ensued in that last rack. Hazad and Celtic has just scored in Leverkusen. I'm watching it on my phone on BT Sports. Celtic's up 2-1. And Celtic's never won in Germany, which never surprises me, same as I've never won in Spain either. But they're 2-1 up at the moment against Leverkusen. Celtic goalie, what the hell's happened here? Celtic goalie boot at the ball at the part, and just a straight breakaway. Defender slips. Now, who scored? Was it Kyogo? Yep, Kyogo scored, I think. Oh no, it wasn't. He set it up for... what's his name? Christ almighty, he just come back in. He came into the team the other day. Anyway, I'm losing track here. Sorry, guys. I'm getting excited. Anyway, we're about a minute away. And it's our first chance to get to see Stubb and see how he handles the 10-foot table. We know he's a potter. But it's not just about potting balls, 8-ball, we know that. We've already seen that. We've already seen how players struggle to get used to the table. The room is up. We're going to head straight in. And we're good to go. The players are still to get in. And Jeeves is keen to get underway. Well, all I hope is that Jeeves puts up a decent performance. He's not going to be favourite, no doubt about that, but I just hope that he plays with a bit of common sense. because if he doesn't, he's just going to play straight into Stubbs' hands. He has to make him work to get a result here. Well, that's a pretty close lag. But the game's given it to Stubb. So here he goes with the break. Now, where's he going to break from? Just from where the ball's appeared. What's Stubb doing? Typing his life story. Well, no surprise. It's a dry break to start the evening's session. Well, Jeeves has obviously won a few 8-ball games in a challenge room some time or other, because he's over the 2000 rating, but we will see. Good evening to Tommy. Yeah, that update for Windows took all of 2 minutes for me to update. Was it yesterday? Or the day before? I can't remember. It wasn't much of an update. So Jeeves on the stripes. And Stubbs got no shot, obviously, because we've got a fair cluster down the bottom here. And then amongst that is Jeeves' pink 12 ball. We'll keep an eye on the Potman match, assuming it's gone ahead. I don't know whether Marcellus had arrived. I wasn't actually particularly paying attention to that, but well, Stubbs improved his balls only slightly, and that 6 ball still locked up with the 12. I don't know whether Jeeves wants to be aggressive, and well, he's having that's never a good sign, and he's maybe going to get lucky here. I don't like to see a player having a bang. There wasn't really much in the setup to that shot, I don't think. Stubbs called the 5. Just check that's legal. Yes, it is. So now a chance to just stun. Well, he's found a gap, but he's gone too straight on this 7 ball, I think. No, he's got a slight angle. He can certainly nudge that 6. He wants to nudge this quite firm to get it across the table. Well, he obviously couldn't, but that's good enough. He's double checking that the 4 goes as well. But of course, he's dead straight in the 2. So he's got his work cut out. Well, both of those balls go if you can get out far enough to at least see the 6 as well. The 4 does go. It squeezes past. But he's got a blind pocket cut on this 1 ball. But as I say earlier, that shot that Jeeves had, you cannot just be going and having a bang at a ball and letting that cue ball just run all over the place, because that's just that just tells me bad news. You're just hitting and hoping. Should be fairly straightforward. Always good to have the 8 ball down the table next to your last couple of balls. But he's just going to be hindered by that 12 ball bin there. He's just got to make sure he doesn't run into it. And the cut angle in this 6 is obviously taking him up the table. Is he trying to stun past the 12? Well, he's quite content to leave himself awkward cuts in the 8 ball. And don't say Stubb isn't taking his time to set himself up. If only Sergaresh were here. Take your time, get yourself set up till you're happy. But the fact that his cue's not moving suggests that he's maybe disconnected here. Oh no, he is, he's alive. But it's 1-0. And now Jeeves with the break. And this is dry break number 2. But look at this table. And Stubbs just got to have a quick study. I mean, where he's sitting isn't all that great, so I mean, he could cut the 2, he could take the stripes. The only problem with that is that there's the 4 balls blocking the left pocket, so the solids are going to be favourite. And if he pots the 2, he's leaving that 4 ball there to cover that pocket for like the 9 ball, and the 6 ball covers the right pocket. And he wants to leave the 6 ball there, I think. He's looking at the 7, and of course there's another couple of his balls up the top rail. Let's have a double check. Yeah, the 1 and the 5. Now, double checking as well that the 8 ball goes, which it does. Well, he's not really got there in terms of getting good on that 5. So he's going to have to run back up the table again. The obvious thing then would be it's more likely he's going to come down this left hand side for the 8 ball once he's potted probably the 1 ball. He's trying to get up there. He's just run short because he's given himself too much angle in the 5 to comfortably pot the 5 and hold good for the 1. He's just got to nurse this in. So chances are he's going to leave the 4 ball to go on the 8, which is maybe not quite as handy. All depending on how good he lies on that 4 as to how good a control he's going to have to get over for the 8. Now he's in 2 minds what to do here. And he certainly doesn't want to go inside this 4 ball. The 1 ball is off the rail, I think. So this is the one that needs a bit of care and attention just to get up the table into that zone. if he's taking it into the corner. As long as he gets in that zone there, he's fine. So it's 2-0 to Stubb. The first ball in the break. Couple of balls have gone. And well, I would hope for Jeeves' sake that he doesn't suddenly get desperate and play any more of those banging shots. Well, Marcellus is a no-show. Or Potman, because I don't know whether I saw him either, but Marcellus hasn't appeared, I presume. So Stubb on the solids, 2 stripes outward on the right side, and all the solids are wide open, so he's very strong for 3-0. Oh, Marcellus won before, but I can't even read. See, that's my break. I'm actually doing 3 things at once here. I'm reading the chat, I'm looking at the chat in the game, and I'm watching the Celtic game. Well, I doubt Potman's having these problems with his PC again, whatever it was. Still 2-1 to Celtic. 69 minutes gone. Meanwhile, Stubb nice and steady. And he's had no pressure applied to him at all, but then again, Jeeves hasn't really had much of an opportunity other than what he had in that first rack, and had a lash. So 3-0, and this is quite an important rack already for Jeeves. He needs to get a ball and a shot, and he needs to get control of the table. But he needs to play something a bit wiser than what he had a go at in that first rack. And the table is not bad looking. Of course, there's one problem ball in the stripes, which is the 11, which he could actually take now. Now see, there's a really, really poor shot, and the worst thing about that shot is it's going to be really difficult to leave it safe. Because the 2 and the 4 are on, and he hasn't got to a rail either, so it's going from bad to worse here for Jeeves. Who the hell's talking in what room? Oh, I'm looking at. Well, that's obviously a newbie. I've never seen that name before. Well, I'm afraid from the first couple of efforts I've seen of Jeeves, he's fallen a long way short of the level that you've got to aspire to actually put up some sort of reasonable challenge at the moment to Stubb, because this is This has been made all too easy at the moment. 8 ball into the side. Just needs to come back. Looks as if he's going forward at the moment. Going forward with a bit of inside. Well, he could have played that better. There is a glimmer of daylight here for Jeeves. If Stubb fails in the cut. Let's see whether he's got the line right. Good evening to Jose. And Stubb has got the line. And it's 4-0. And that all went wrong. Again with Jeeves' first. Well, I think it was his second shot in the rack, or was it his first shot, and then he runs into behind one of his own balls with no shot and no real chance of a safety. And Stubb has broken in rack number 5. He's broke dry. But I think Stubbs now already assessed the situation and is just going to sit and bide his time, because I think Stubb feels that he'll just have to pick up the pieces most of the time when he comes to the table. Jeeves has chosen the solids, and well, he's got the 7, but that 6 ball is not going anywhere from this end. He needs to get into a very accurate position to be able to pot that 6. And he can't probably ask for a better opportunity than off this 2 ball. He needs to stun this in and stun up to the pink 12 if he can. And that's not bad. Now, the 1 passes no problem. Now the angle he has, he's going to skim this 9 and run up to that right centre pocket, or somewhere in that direction, so he has to be careful, but he has to get the pocket pace of this ball. So it has to get there. So to do that, the cue ball's got to run further through. And now he's got a problem, because he's nailed to the rail, so he's got to jack up just to try and kill that cue ball, which he has done. Now he doesn't want this. Well, he's really going to struggle here looking at that. I thought that 8 ball might have went up the table there to a look. So can he just drop behind? No, he's took his eye off the ball. And again, it's just surrendering a great chance he had there, albeit the 8 was difficult to get to, but he's totally forgotten about the 5 ball. And well, the 5 ball doesn't really guard much of the pocket. The 10 ball will go in, although the 8 ball is in a slightly awkward position for that. But Stubb is just doing the right thing again. He's just making sure he knows where he's going. And I think that's... I thought Leverkusen had just equalised there, but no, they haven't. I think that's him got himself in a good position on that 10 ball. Probably take that right now and get rid of it. Then maybe the 13. I mean, this is a sort of right pace to be playing it at when you've got a wide open table. Is just take your time. You've got a shot clock that resets itself every rack, and use it, and don't do anything stupid. and I think Jeeves is going to do well to get a rack in this. He's maybe going to have to rely on a bit of charity from Stubb, and Stubb doesn't normally give charity, but he might start taking the odd liberty or two as he builds up the score, and that might be a chance for Jeeves to get something. But he had the chance to produce in that last rack, but it all went pear-shaped on the 5. Or this rack, I should say. And Stubbs just demonstrated how to take care of business for 5-0. And Jeeves again with the break. So it's another dry one, and Stubb has got whatever he chooses here. He's got one or two things to deal with. I mean, that 4 and 1 are almost set, pretty much so. It's easy enough to make that as a combo, but he's looking to, well, he looks as if he's trying to, is he not trying to cut the 2, is he? Oh, there's no way that's going. He could play the 7 and deal with it that way. Is that the 1 or the 9? Yeah, that is all solid. So the other problem ball there would be the 3. It's awkward. So he's contemplating every option here. I think he can get to the 6. It's the only one solid ball that's up the table, or down the table, depending on what end you're looking at. So it looks as if he's committed to the solids. So the only one that he's just got to get good on, well, there's 2 really, but he can get behind that 2 ball anyway into the right side pocket. He's got a couple of chances to get in behind that 2. Just don't forget he's still got the 6 ball that's up the table. You know, it'd be kind of one option. Even if he had to leave the 6 as last ball, he's got plenty of room to get onto the 8. And Leverkusen have equalised, I think. Yep, it's 2-2. I knew that was too good to last. That's 81 minutes, so they've got another 9 minutes to get the winner. Send Celtic back to defeat again. It never surprises me. It's just accepted that they can't go to Germany and they can't go to Spain and get a result. Their away record in Europe's pretty crap. So Stubb still has that 2 ball to deal with, and now he's gone out of line here. He's looking to push this 3 to the rail and chip the 5. So he's going there. Oh no, he's going the other way. I thought he'd called the. Again, I missed it because I was too busy looking at the phone. That just proves a guy can't multitask. He can't keep his eye on the match, the chat and the football at the same time. Well, this isn't where he would want to be in the 2, but he's got a shot on it. And the 3 doesn't pass the 10. And the 6 is still up table. Well, there's a gift, and that's the only way, I think, at the moment, that Jeeves was going to get a break. Something like that happening. And, I mean, to be honest with you, Stubbs should never have been there in the 2-ball to be cutting at that angle. And he's had a smack at it. And again, it was a pretty daft shot to be playing at that pace, considering that the 8-ball was in line. So Jeeves gets his gift. Well, what the hell did Jeeves do there? Anyway, still an open table. He's trying to cut the 7 onto the 5. Well, Stubbs got a problem to deal with this 1 ball. Blocked by the 15. And he's looking to cut the 3 and leave the cut in the 1 from this angle. 2-ball passes a 9, 6 into the side. But again, he has to get a good angle to drop into a fairly narrow gap to get on that 8-ball. And he must finish top side really of that 6-ball as we look, in order to be able to stun across or draw across down into this, down to where the cue ball is right now, where it was before he played that pot. Well, he's gone outward here. I mean, it's obvious he could take the 6. And that just means he's got more work to do to get good in the 2-ball to be able to get to the 8. It's a nasty cut in that too. And now it's nasty as well because he's the wrong angle. And he's going to try and take this long and spin, from what I can see, spin off. He's in danger of getting near that pocket, so he doesn't like it. And he's looking at the cut. But this will be a good shot to get across and anywhere good on that 8-ball. Well, I think that's 3-2 to Leverkusen, or is that their equaliser? Yep, 3-2 to Leverkusen now. That's Celtic's chance of winning all gone. 3 minutes to go. Knew that would happen. Well, he's taking his time. And I'll tell you, it'll be a good shot to get there. And he's had a proper smack. And Jeeves will have his chance. But already though, even though Stubbs 5-1 up, you can see how Stubb gets himself into awkward places. That's the critical thing about Stubb. He can pop balls all night long because he generally has to, and that closer control with the cue ball is what he's been found out with, and getting better shape in the ball to give him better control. Now what's he called here? Well, is Jeeves going to be able to take advantage of this situation? Because as soon as he goes anywhere up that top end of the table, if he doesn't put the ball away, he's going to leave Stubb the cut. Yeah, he's well off the mark there. And Stubb can just cheat the pocket here. Well, I say just, but look where he's sitting. In fact, can he actually get to the cutting angle on it? Maybe not. That's a good shot. That was well played. Perfect pace. And it's 6-1, but you know, to survive in this tournament when you've got an open table and there's like 4 or 5 of your balls left and your opponent's down to the 8 ball, you simply have to dish up. You can't go missing basic pots at the end of the day. And the rack that Jeeves has got was given to him by Stubb with that foul in the 8 ball. And looking at that, I think Jeeves is going to do well to actually win a rack. And while Stubb's at the table, let's have a quick look at this bracket to see how things unfold. Because I think... where is that match? Yeah, Stubb's in line to play Sergaresh next. And, you know, based on what I seen last night, Sergaresh should be a better opponent. With the greatest of respect to Jeeves. And maybe at least give Stubb something to think about if the match goes the way it obviously looks as if it's going. That's who Stubb's lined up to play next. But then, regardless of what happens in that, tell a lie, wait a minute, where are we? No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Stubb's lined up to play Cheeky Chico. What am I talking about? I'm looking at the wrong bit of the bracket. Well, I would expect Cheeky Chico not to fold. Once again, it's a similar situation, although Stubb can't even see the 8 ball. But regardless of that, Stubb doesn't want to disturb the 2 and the 1 because they're still slightly awkward, even though they'll probably pot. They're awkward for Jeeves. Now, is that a foul in the game when he misses the 8 ball, or is it ball in hand? Yeah, just ball in hand. Well, it's not long to the Moscone Cup now, guys. I will find a good stream for it. I hope. Straight away, Jeeves is now got a testy one. You know, that even that shot there is a struggle for, again, a player who's probably never played in a 10-footer. And there's 6 minutes of injury time, and it's already 3.5 minutes into it, and it's still 3-2 to Leverkusen, so that's pretty much all over. Well, how many chances is Jeeves going to need to get this rack won? Yeah, that's really exciting, Slim. Thanks for that. Again, he's gone outward. Well, he's still got to pot this 6, and he's running away from the 8 ball, I think, the angle that he's got. But he's got dead aim on this 8 to get his second rack on the board, and the first rack that he's ended up winning. And Stubb, a good solid break, a ball in the break as well, and well, I think looking at this table, it's solids all the way, because the 10 balls in this right side rail, the stripe, so it's got to be the solids all day and every day. Looking at this table, there's not a problem on the table, and this is where there's a difference in class, because Stubb's going to take his time, and he's going to make sure he gets this rack put away, because that's exactly what's expected when you go to the higher levels in the quality of player. When you have an open table, you should be good enough to find your way around it. Pressure or no pressure, you just it's a straightforward thing you have to do, is just move that cue ball in the right direction each time. But of course, Stubb's going to be tested as he moves through the bracket. That will come, and it should come in his next match. Again, I mean, my advice is simple to anybody that plays in a tournament. You have to apply yourself. If you've signed up to the tournament in the first place, you have to give it your best, even though your best might not be good enough. But you have to give yourself a chance by doing sensible things. That is taking your time, use your shot clock, and try and plot your way out. It sounds obvious to say something like that, but it is amazing the amount of players that sometimes that is sorely lacking in their approach. And I think that's the game over, so that's the phone getting shut down. Oh, wait a minute here, did I read that wrong? According to the screen, it's got Leverkusen 2, Celtic 2. That's a bit crazy. On my phone it says 2 each, yet on the actual match it's 3-2 to Leverkusen. That's a bit stupid. Anyway, looking at the end result, it's 3-2, so they're showing 2 different scores. Let me just switch the phone off. So the formalities have been completed in that rack, and Stubbs' lead now back to 5. Was it Potman that didn't turn up? Marcellus, I don't think, turned up either, according to what somebody else said. So both of you bottled out at the same time. Oh, so Marcellus did turn up, right. So, Stub on the solids again. And, well, one partial problem up table, but easy enough to take care of it. Big margin to get into to cut that 3 ball into the top right hand corner, 4 ball into the side if it comes to it, and 8 ball adjacent to this corner pocket. Where's this guy from? Is he still in the room? Oh, a South American. Well, he'll probably take the 7, then the 3, then the 4. I would think, because that's a surefire guarantee you can see the 3 ball. He's just having a look. Well, then again, he sees another way of doing it. Why is he not taking the 7 at the moment? Because, well, I'll tell you why he's not taking it, because he can't bloody well see it, that's why. So, he's now just to come down past the 9 ball and not too far, or he'll end up going behind the 11. And he's got the pace right. So this is only going to be a matter of time. So the lead now goes to 6. And Stubbs' break gives him a couple of balls. He's sitting in a slightly awkward position where the cue ball is in terms of what choices are available to him. I mean, he can play. He can push the 12 onto that 5, but he's not really got much of an option otherwise. When you look at this setup, I think that's all he's got. I mean, there's nothing else available to him. Still, of course, an open table, but if he knocks that 5 in, then obviously he's committed to the solids. And they're not necessarily lying all that good anyway. He's maybe been forced into a shot he doesn't really want. So he's well, I don't know what he's doing, to be honest with you, because I don't think he really has a great deal of choice here. I think he's looking at the stripes, but even them, again, with that 5 ball, will then be guarding the pocket unless he's going to try and knock it in off this shot, and he's got a chance of doing that, and that's clever. You see, now that there is a perfect example of somebody thinking about what they're doing. Right there. It might seem unobvious, or not as obvious to many people, but that shot right there has just opened up that pocket for 3 balls. By taking the stripes and by cutting that ball into the pocket, getting the cue ball, popping over to the other side, knocking the 5 ball out of the way, and killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Oh, of course Stubb meant it. Yeah, I mean, the commentators, I seen it. Now, no doubt that was what he had in mind in order to actually open the pocket. I'll give him that benefit of the doubt. Now he's got to get up the table though for this 10, and he might do that now. But again, an example of struggling with the pace. I presume he played to get to the 10. I mean, he's still on the 9 ball, and he's now ending up doing what he generally ends up doing, not getting great shape and potting his way out of trouble. But I mean, you know, anybody who's played VP4 for years, including myself, would have looked at that cut and saw the cue ball's path had to be heading over towards that corner pocket, and there was always a very good chance you were going to knock that 5 ball in anyway. So I've got no doubt he played it. So this situation now is he has to get lucky and find the gap here. And in fact, he's dead straight, so he's okay. Now there's the stun draw. Maybe an inch or so short, but it just means he's having to run more with the cue ball. But that pace that he hit that ball at, with that cue tip just a tad below the equator, gives you that controlled draw. That's a shot that I think everybody has to master in this game, because trying to play draw shots and control a draw shot when you're digging into the cue ball, you're always making trouble for yourself. And I think Stubb has got the pace perfect here. Well, I'm glad Chico's here, because at least Jose's got somebody to talk to who speaks his language. Plus that keeps me an extra spectator for maybe longer than I would normally have. So Jeeves breaks off, trailing by 9-2, and a ball in the break. Now, well, is that... are they all stripes up here? Yes, they are. So, if he's looking at the stripes, they're a reasonable bet. Although he's going to have to get that 10 ball and get on to this 12, and probably leave them till last, because the 10 and then the 12 and out for the 8 ball would be the right way to go about it. There's very little problem in potting the 10, excuse me, and holding that cue ball for the 12 and coming out for the 8. So he should be nowhere near these two until he's dealt with what's up the table. That's immediately what should be in his mind. But right away though, he's got himself out of line. Well, he called the 10, and that'll be his last shot in this rack, because these solids are like, well, they're like, they're just there for the picking, aren't they? You can name your fruit, but they're just all sitting there ready to be plucked. And this is just a practice routine, this, for Stubb. Even I could run this table. Just a kill shot. Well, a stun gets him there, and just down past the middle pocket. or the middle of the table, but down past the middle pocket just to drop the 8 into the side. And that will take stub 1 away. Well, I hope for Stubb's sake that he doesn't think that he's, you know, that he's had to work real hard to win this. I hope he doesn't think that he's now well in contention, because the main thing that he's always lacked is that better cue ball control. His potting in general, you know, isn't to be questioned, but the control when it's needed, and it's going to be needed later on in this tournament, because there's going to be better strategy played against him, and you know, he can't expect everybody to fold against him. He says an easy time of it tonight, but that's going to ramp up all too soon. So table is open, ball in the break for Stubb, and I think he's got a choice of the 1 or the 7. Problem ball, the 3 ball, that doesn't really go, but it does go there. But he probably would have took that 3 ball if he could see enough of it. And that's just gone to the knuckle, but it's gone in. Now, this is probably his best opportunity to take that 3 and get rid of it. Now, just while he's at the table and while I've got your attention, guys, just a quick reminder. The matches that are remaining on the schedule at the moment, we've got the match between LS3 and John Boo. I think that's a 1-loss side match. That's going to be Saturday night at 7:30. And then Sunday night we've got Mr. Bill and Semi Pro on the winner's side at 7 PM. And then Monday night, the 1-loss side match, Shibo and Spectre Dawn at 7:30. They're the 3 currently that are in the schedule, and I should be able to get all of those. And this is well, I think Stubb will just take his medicine and cut this 6 in and just come back across the table, but he doesn't want to again go inside this 8 ball, and he doesn't want to leave it awkward where if he cuts the 8 he's threatening to scratch, but he'd be taking evasive action anyway, I would think. There's nothing much you can do other than pot this and go through to the rail and back out. Well, he's gone across to come out for the 8, and that was a clever shot again. Rather than under hitting it and chickening out on it, he's overhit it, so it's gone 2 rails and come out, and he's got a reasonable line to finish the match. So Stubb extremely comfortably through, and Jeeves, well, the shots that he did have, well, certainly the very first shot I think he had was not very clever, and Stubb was way too strong for him when the balls are open. But Jeeves has got time to get some practice in, because he's going to need it, because that 1-loss side is not going to do him any favours either. So that's it, guys. It's short and sweet tonight. Hope to see you in the 3 remaining matches that are on the schedule. There'll be others probably added soon enough, but if you can't see them, remember they're on YouTube. Remember, if you're a Twitch viewer, you don't have to watching YouTube, but you should subscribe to me on YouTube. I've still got 502 subscribers. My next target's 1,000 in the next 7 years if I'm still here. So please do that. Please do that. Watching Twitch, subscribing YouTube. Right, I'll bid you good night, guys. Take care. Thanks for joining, and stay safe, and I'll see you soon.